Wouldn't it be fantastic if all female founded cocktail companies, alcohol brands, wine companies became female funders and created their own distribution?
It's not far away. And more women are entering the alcohol space in wine, beer, and spirits. I mean, it's so much fun. And the difference I find with women coming into the industry is we all stick together.
Yes.
Even with competitors, we're like, you go for it. You go, you can do it.
Hello, and let's get carried away today. I'm glad you've joined me and the podcast. My guest today is Karin Haines, founder and CEO of Spa Girl Cocktails. Welcome, Karin.
Thank you. Thank you, Carrie, for having me.
I'm excited to be talking to you. One, because I love cocktails, but I particularly love your cocktails, which we had the pleasure of sponsoring at our event, Cocktails and Conversation. So first, thank you for being our sponsor at that event. It was delicious. But my first question is, if I were to ask 10-year-old Karin, what you want to be when you grow up, would you have said the founder and CEO of a cocktail company?
No, I absolutely would not. I would have said a flight attendant. That's what I wanted to do ever since I saw the beautiful uniforms of Continental when I was a little girl. So,
flight attendant. And then you'd get to travel everywhere.
Right. I did. And when I was 20, I started flying for United for about 18 years.
Oh, did you really? So you actually were a flight attendant?
I was. Yeah.
That's incredible. Do you have any crazy stories?
Oh, there are a few. Yes, there's some great stories.
I can only imagine what that would have been like. I'm trying to think of that Gwyneth Paltrow movie where she was a flight attendant. Have you ever seen it? It's very funny. I can't think of the name of it.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, it came out a while ago, and she's a flight attendant with Christina Applegate, and her goal.
Oh my gosh! Yes, I have.
I can't think of the name of it, but her goal is to get first class New York to Paris. Like that is the leg you want and the flight you want to be on as a flight attendant.
It truly is too.
It's I'm really, really impressed. I did not think that you actually were going to succeed that. Usually when I ask this question, they're like a ballerina or, a musician, but you actually did it. So that's incredible. So in that, tell me about your journey then into creating a cocktail company. You're a flight attendant. You're hopefully handling obnoxious passengers. What made you at one point say, I'm out?
Well, I think for me, I had children, and it was really a hard job to be away from your kids. And sadly, I got divorced. So then I was a single mom with young kids as a flight attendant, and I would have to commute to Chicago. So I thought, okay, I think it's time to stop. And it was really quite beautiful because all along the journey, really, I did not know that all these experiences and, life itself would end up for me in my early 50s, creating a cocktail line. So it all kind of came together.
I love that. And what inspired Spa Girl Cocktails?
To absolutely be 100% honest, I was reading Forbes magazine. It was, I believe, the May issue of 2012, and Bethany Frankle was on the cover, and she was talking about Skinny Girl, and I think she just sold, there was some kind of acquisition, and that was like thinking, wow, she broke that glass ceiling. She actually started a ready-to-drink cocktail or drink for women primarily that was lower calorie and had different attributes. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I can do this. Because all along for the last 20, 25, 30 years, I entertain a lot. And my husband and I always pre-mix cocktails prior to a party. So I thought, wow, I'm already doing it. I mean, now I just got to figure out how to put it in a bottle. So that was the inspiration. And I've kept recipes and party books for decades. So I had everything that I'd serve, what cocktail I'd serve. And I was at a girls' weekend in Palm Springs, actually. And I'm reading the magazine and I thought, I can do this. So I came home and I said to my husband, we're going to go in the alcohol business. And he said, well, what does that mean? And I said, I have no idea. I absolutely have no idea. So he said, okay, let's fund $10,000 and see what you can do. Well, that lasted literally 20 minutes
Yeah.
to begin the branding process, which was really important to me because not only did I want to create this fabulous, low calorie, gluten-free, low carb, higher proof, bar quality cocktail in a little bottle or can, is I wanted to develop a beautiful brand to go with it that literally spoke to men and women as a lifestyle. So that's where it all started.
Well, the branding is brilliant too. Yeah, it's really, really well done. And you can tell there was a lot of thought and intention put into it. Because when I, as women, we like pretty things. And I know when we had it at the party, having the little can, I was like, I look pretty holding this. It's very, very well branded. So bravo to that. I also was inspired by Bethany Frankle back in the day because she was a single mom as well, and starting not only an alcohol brand, but then she had like a food line and she was doing all of these things. And I realized she just didn't take no for an answer.
No,
now, she was, and as much as you're fearless, it just felt like, wow, how many no's do you think you've heard to get you to where you are?
A billion. Yes. Yeah. For me, because I was a woman in a really 99% male dominated industry at the time, back 7 years ago, I got no every single day. Like, wow. Cute idea, but no, nobody liked skinny girls. And they did love it. I mean, that's why it did so well, but it was no. But you just can't take it. You kept
going. And did you ever feel frustrated or like, this isn't going to work? How long into, you starting your business, did it finally, you sold your first can, or you felt like, okay, we're going to make something out of this?
Well, tens of thousands of dollars later, many mistakes. And, I was frustrated a lot, but the thing I had in my head, and I still do to this day, I still wake up in the middle of the night, walk around my house, just thinking, oh my God, this is so exciting. I absolutely love it. I've never doubted it. Oh. So now I had to convince the distributors, which, you can't do anything in the alcohol industry without a distributor, and the buyers, the retailers.
Yeah. And I'm sure, for the layperson, tell us the process to get distribution. Like, how does that even begin?
I mean, it doesn't matter if you give away your first child. Nearly impossible because the industry is really heavy on the big boys, all the big brands. So when you're a little brand coming out, you have to really, really prove yourself. And what I did is I did hundreds and hundreds of focus groups and demos and tastings. I have cases and boxes full of comments that people made. So I just kept really studying what I was trying to do. And one of the big things I did was I developed this beautiful brand book. And it was just beautiful imagery, and it was just about the brand and the lifestyle. And when I would walk into meetings and present that, and that's something I would recommend anybody starting a business, and it's so easy now with, all the access that you have on the computer, and you can make it an odd size so it really stands out. And people would start looking through it, go, okay, well, she's pretty serious. And even when I would be a distributor would say, no, this isn't what we want, or no. I would, just most graciously thank them and just ask them for a second meeting. Let me come back. Give me 6 months. Let me just prove to you, just proof of concept. And then, my style, I've never leave them without something that's very much on brand. So I have these beautiful stationery and pink fuchsia envelopes and Oscar de la Renta stamps. And I write a personal note and send it off. So it's a little thing, and it's going to be sitting on typically a man's desk in this pink envelope, and, this really beautiful cursive handwriting, and just say, thank you for your time. I'll be back.
I love that. I have two comments. First, distribution. Wouldn't it be fantastic if all female founded cocktail companies, alcohol brands, wine companies became female funders? and created their own distribution. Like,
it's not far away.
It's gotta be. I just had this light bulb, like, let's activate all of these founders, like a Bethany Frankle, like, it would be really, really fantastic if they hyper focused on the advancement of female founded alcohol companies. That was one idea I had. I'm always trying to come up with like, what's next? So let me just give you more work to do.
I love it. And more and more women are entering the alcohol space in wine, beer, and spirits. I mean, it's so much fun. And the difference I find with women coming into the industry is we all stick together.
Yes.
Even with competitors, we're like, you go for it. You go, you can do it.
Yeah.
We really cheer them on.
I love that. That's, the idea of let's collaborate before we compete, which is a real strong tenet of Bra Network. We have so many people who are doing the same things, photographers, coaches, yoga instructors, but they don't see each other as competition. They see each other as collaborators future, because your next great idea could come from someone who's doing what you're doing. Now, you mentioned the market research. I think that's a very, very important step that new entrepreneurs kind of skip over. And how long do you think you did this research before you're like, all right, I got it. I got my groove now?
Well, I first started off with a signature cocktail, or my cucumber martini that I've been making for years. Yum. And it's so lightly infused, and just trying to copy that with a flavor house is quite difficult. But then what I did is I would just pre-mix them and put them in beautiful carafes and go to various events and just have people taste it. And I think you're so right. I really studied the competition, the marketplace. It would cost, $9,000-$10,000 just to get sample bottles logoed and, the label.
Sure.
I would take those bottles, even though they had water in them, and take them to the grocery store and put them on the shelf and see how they looked. And, would ask people, what do you think of this brand? What do you think? And I think you really, really want to know your competitive set as well, who your competition is.
Absolutely. I think it's really important that, I'm also very close with other women who have female founded networking groups. I think that's a very clever idea. And I bet when you put your bottle on the grocery store shelf, it was like, I bet it stood out because your branding is brilliant.
Thank you. Yes, it is. And, the branding really was inspired by Palm Springs and the Parker Hotel, the beautiful cinder block and the orange doors. And it was just like, oh my gosh, what is more beautiful than this?
Oh, it's so pretty there. If you love Jonathan Adler, go to the Parker Hotel. It's really, really well done. The other thing I wanted to ask you is, as you're, growing the brand, when did you feel like you were at the point of like, because as entrepreneurs, we do everything ourselves. When did that kind of squeeze come where you're like, okay, I'm going to need a team?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. I bootstrapped it from the very beginning. I was fortunate. My husband and I funded until we couldn't, it was like, oh
right.
Gosh. I mean, like I said, 3-4 little sample bottles would be thousands of dollars, and but you had to have them. Right. Every step you had to do. So I think that that was really, really important to do. Also, doing the demo or the tastings focus groups really helped me identify if I was going in the right direction or wrong direction. And I think it's really when you go back and you think of how it all started, and you get to a point that I know my lane. I know I'm a creator. I know I love to entertain. I can make it look beautiful, smell beautiful, taste beautiful. I'm not a CEO. And, thank you for introducing me as a CEO. But I have a CEO, Lori Karsich is our CEO. She's a CPA. She's driven. She knows her lane. I know my lane. And I think once I realized what I did well and what I know I don't do very well, the company kind of changed because it started working.
Oh, that's a very good point. And I think everyone should take your advice. Eventually, as entrepreneurs and as our business grows, we do need to have a CEO. We do need the person who has that analytical brain and can crunch the numbers because most entrepreneurs are creatives. So we can't have left and right billing. We have to bring in somebody who does that. So that's great. And I think eventually when you have that CEO and you guys dance well together, I'm sure your brand took off. That's really, really impressive.
Really, really well, because as I say, that's her expertise. And so it's been really, really fun. And now you get to concentrate on the fun stuff that got you there to this.
Yeah, that's so great. That's so exciting. Now, tell us how we can get some Spa Girl cocktails. We're in California.
Okay, we are in Total Wine, Vaughn's, Pavilions, Ralph's, CVS, and you can also order online. Okay. It's Drink Spa Girl cocktails. We ship right to your house. Many options.
That's so great. Everybody, they're quite delicious. I actually had the cucumber mint as my favorite martini. And we had it over ice because it was really warm out and it was quite delicious. Thank you again for being a sponsor of our event. Now, if someone, we have a lot of budding entrepreneurs, women that are pivoting into entrepreneurship in the bra network. What advice would you give someone who's like, okay, I have this product, maybe it's, a jewelry line or accessories or a cocktail line. What advice would you give them?
I would go back and I would still say, create a brand book or something that really sets you apart. That's your go-to. It's like your little Bible that you can really show the branding and the product, and know your competition. Oh. It's not, you don't want to be the first to market, but you don't want to be the fifth. It's just these funny things, but not to give up. Oh my goodness. You'll be said no to so many times, and you'll start doubting it, and you'll question, and you'll hear lots of negative comments, but that's part of the journey.
Yeah, it is.
It's okay. Just, if you know it in your heart and you're getting all the right positive comments and reinforcements, you have to keep going.
Oh, great advice.
If I could, I would help anybody. Call me, email me, text me. I've been through it all. I've been in meetings where I've walked in and tripped and fall, and I fell right in the boardroom. I've walked up 3 sets of stairs, carrying all this heavy stuff to get up there to not be able to breathe because I was so scared and so nervous. I would be, you put me in front of people and I would think, oh my gosh, what am I going to say now? It's just all those silly things you got to get over.
Yeah, for sure. Have you ever thought about writing a book about your story? This is a great story.
Thank you. I have. Just so I could help. And the funny thing about me growing up, I went to 10 different schools. My father was transferred around. I was always that new girl. I didn't go to college because I didn't think I was smart enough where I could get in. I became a flight attendant, traveled for a while, worked, had children. And the journey's been really real and really hard, but it's also been really beautiful, even with the peaks and the valleys.
Yeah. And it's brought you to where you are today. Exactly. It's just like we have to have those peaks and valleys to appreciate, I think, for appreciation. And it's really quite impressive what you've achieved. And I think a lot of people would learn a lot from your story. Again, I'm giving you more work. Write a book now, Karin.
It would probably be all filled with pretty pictures. Recipes.
That's okay. Recipes a good idea. Infuse recipes with your story. I love that. Now, before we wrap up, I want to get carried away with you. Now, I don't know if maybe you had a boom in purchases during the pandemic, because I know wine sales went up.
We did. Actually, we did really well during the pandemic. And that's when we launched our direct to consumer online. And so it made it super easy.
Very easy. We didn't have to leave the house. Just make a bar in your home. What during the pandemic, or now that we're kind of coming out of this, what was something you got carried away about? Were you cooking more? A lot of people were sewing. Were you binging Netflix? What's something you got carried away about?
I did a couple of things. I cooked a lot, and I love table settings. So I would go through China and do table settings and take pictures. I did that a lot during COVID. I also went through all my recipes and tried to organize them. And I just was addicted to romantic comedies. I've probably watched You've Got Mail 20 times, but I watch it tonight. So
love it. What's your favorite romantic comedy? That would be hard to pick.
That is so hard for me. Gosh, what would it be?
I just recently rewatched Notting Hill, and I was like, this movie is so good.
So fabulous. I just rewatched Leap Year, which I think is adorable. I mean, so I don't know. I just love them all. I put them all in, all saved up, and I just pick them. I love them.
I think, yeah. And the other one I just rewatched was the one with Jennifer Lopez and Matthew McConaughey, The Wedding Planner.
Oh yeah, I just watched that
too. But I think what I love about them is you can at any point start it. Like you don't have to watch it from the beginning. You're like, oh, I'll watch this for a little bit, and then an hour goes by, and you're like, it's such a good movie.
It is such a good movie. I mean, yeah, that's exactly. I start and stop. And now that it's getting so hot, and I live in the deserts, I'll go to the treadmill, work out, put it on there, and just watch them again. So
yeah. Oh, that's so great.
Make me happy.
Oh yeah, they're great. And damn, that Jennifer Lopez is gorgeous. I don't know how she does it. She's 50.
She's more beautiful every single day.
She does. She must have the best skincare regimen.
I'd love to know it.
Me too. Come on, J-Lo, fess up. Now, of course, my last question is the opposite. What's something that other people get carried away that you can't stand? I know for me, it's cruises. I'm terrified of boats. I would never get on a cruise line, but people love cruises.
Gosh. Well, I would say one of the things which I just can't do are Birkenstock shoes. Oh, I'm sorry. My daughter wears them, and I'm like, honey, please. Camping. Camping is just something that, I've done it. I don't love it. I would try glamping, but you're still not. I'll take a hotel room.
Yeah. My husband always jokes that camping for me is a hotel without room service.
Exactly. That's my camping. And I love that, but I don't want to be in a tent or any of that.
Bears and stuff like bugs. That's a good one. Nobody's ever said camping when I've asked that question, but I don't get it either. I like to hike and go outside, go to the beach, but I don't want to stay there.
I don't want to go in a cabin. I mean, cabins are nice. I've been in some really rough ones, there's a lot of bugs and you were still there. And plus you pack all your things and take it to the dirt, and then you have to bring it back and clean it.
Exactly. I'm bringing my kitchen to the outdoors. Yeah, so true. So true. Well, thank you so much, Karin. This has been really, really great. I'm sure your story has inspired a lot of our product-based audience members to just keep going anytime they keep hearing no, because you're absolutely right. They're going to hear no a lot. So if anything we get carried away about is tenacity. Don't give up, ladies.
That's right. Thank you so much, Carrie. I love following you. I love this. So it's been an honor, a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you.